Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us for tonight's edition of HR Mentorship Learning Series. Tonight, we'll be looking at the topic Strategic Career Development Framework for the Future. I'm not the facilitator. My name is Oluyemi Adeosun, and our facilitator is one of our regular facilitators. Her name is Juliet Ekpuro. I'm sure she'll pronounce that for me. I need to learn to pronounce all names worldwide more proficiently. I would like to introduce very quickly Juliet to us. Juliet is a certified HR professional with over 7 years of progressive experience designing and implementing people strategies across consulting, healthcare, not-for-profit, beauty, manufacturing, and educational sector. Currently, she is the Group Head of Human Resources and Corporate Services at the Human Investment Group Africa, where she leads initiatives that cultivate, engage employees, strengthen leadership, and foster organizational excellence. She has a background in human anatomy and currently doing her master's in international human resource management. Juliet combines scientific rigor with strategic HR insights to deliver measurable impact. Through her career, for example, she has been recognized as in 2025 as one of Africa's top 100 HR leaders by Seamless HR, honoring professionals shaping the future of work. And she is also one of the top HR 100 professionals driving HR excellence in 2024 by the HR Talent Hub, and then the most valued player HOD Award for outstanding leadership. Juliet also founded Jobshon Consulting to advance SDG 4, which is quality education, and SDG 8, which is decent work, economic growth through employability programs and workplace solutions. Through the community she founded, she has connected over 1,500 plus professionals, fostering collaboration, learning, and career advancement. She's also committed to mentorship and capacity development. Juliet also guides emerging talent globally via the Global Mentorship Initiative, United States of America, and locally through Enterprise NGR, helping the next generation of professionals build fulfilling careers. Ladies and gentlemen, I can go on and on, but that shows us the quality and the caliber of our facilitator tonight. Again, I'm delighted, excited, elated, pleased to invite to the virtual lecture Juliet as she speaks to us tonight on the topic Strategic Career Development Frameworks for the Future. You have the floor, my sister.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, good evening. I hope today has been great at your end. I don't know where our population is spread across, but just in case, wherever you're joining us from, whether good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is, thank you for joining us. Thank you again, sir, for the opportunity to be here and to just share from my own expertise and insight. Thank you so much. So our topic today is strategic career development frameworks for the future. I think, in the last how many years, most recently, we've had like a lot of talks around career, grow your career, where you're going to get to. And, we've had like a lot of people define career, a lot of people try to understand what career is. And I think there has been some level of intentionality in building career just beyond, of course, the series of jobs that we have. So over the course of this session, I want to be able to do justice, to just, spread the gospel again, right, around career. Okay, so the outline, I hope to be able to touch on why strategic career development, right? Why do you need strategy in the first place? I also want to be able to share from my own knowledge about the 4SAFE framework. Some of us might already be familiar with it, but of course, if today is your first time, you will also get to know about the 4SAFE framework in building your career. And of course, the key levers in careers, role of organizations in career strategy, practical steps for career growth, emerging career models for the future, and of course, we'll have in conclusion and everything in the end. And of course, this is really the objective today, right? This is really like, it's an interactive session. I'm not going to be the only one talking because, of course, I want to believe we have like, intentional career builders already here, even those that don't even know where to start from, wherever you are. I'm sure that you're already building something, right? So it's going to be more of, interaction. I also want to learn from you as much as I also want to learn from this session, right? So by the end of this session, you'll be able to define the concept of career and career development. Of course, understand why career development must be strategic into this world of work. And for you to also be able to explore proven frameworks for building future-proof careers, identify practical steps to design and manage your career growth. And of course, we'll reflect on emerging trends that will shape the careers of the future. So now, right, remember I said it's going to be a lot of conversations and all of that. So this is the first one, right? I just want to know, right, where you currently are right now in your career. So this is an icebreaker to start with. And I think the question I'm asking here is, if you had to describe how you currently feel about your career using just one emoji, right, what would it be? So I'm going to dive into the comment. Let me see, let me see. If you had to describe how you currently feel about your career using just one emoji, what would it be? Let me come into the chat box now. Okay. So, okay. The very first response I got, I don't know what that emoji means, but it's not happy. So is it, Christiana, is that a sad emoji? Okay, the second one did like this. Okay, I think I know what that means. Like you're shy, a bit cute. You can also try and explain to me, right? If you think emoji is too small to explain what your career feels like right now, you can type it, right? I will take my time to go through it. Okay, Rotimi, chai, sorry. I can feel you. That emoji is intense. Okay. Who else wants to share? How do you feel right now about your career, right? How do you feel right now? How do you feel? Just one emoji, right? But of course, if an emoji cannot really, put it together, you can type it. I'm waiting. Oh my God, Ade. Ade, what's going on? Okay. All right. I'm seeing the response. Okay. James said it is well. Amen. It is well. Okay. Uchenna. Oh, Uchenna is crying. Uchenna, don't worry. By the end of this session, right? You cry no more. Those tears become tears of joy. Okay. Let's see. One more and I'll move. Who else wants to share how they currently feel about their career with just one emoji? How do you currently feel about your career right now? Folari, Omo. I think at this point we'll probably get buckets. Okay, all right. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing. I think I've seen, I've gotten a bit, about everyone that's on the call. Probably a percentage, because not everybody answered, right? But I think from the emojis, at least I've not seen anybody that has sent like jumping, dancing, laughter, joy. I've not seen that yet. So I would take it that, this session will really need to do, actual work so that, by the end, we'll have happy and joyful emojis and be able to know exactly what to do next. All right. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, so now moving on to my next slide. Moving on to my next slide. Okay. All right. So first off, introductions, right? Let's just set context. I want to believe like, we already understand career. So I'm not going to take too much time in trying to ask us to define career, what you understand by career, right? So just to, run origin, right? I always like to go to the roots before, we get to every other part. So career itself, right, originated from a Latin word called carus. And the word carus in Latin just meant a vehicle, right? And over the time, it was translated to mean a journey, right? So you're going through, it's almost like, translating movement is a vehicle that moves from one place to another, right? So that's really what career is, the origin of the word itself, career. And now, sorry. So, and in using that origin, right, career was now generally defined to be a lifetime journey of your work Your learning experiences shaped by your skills, your interests, your values, and opportunities that are available to you, right? So you're not going to stumble into a career by accident. You're not going to just wake up one morning and then the career has started, right? It would have been a collection of all your works, right, throughout your life journey. It doesn't stop somewhere. It's a journey, right? Lifetime of your work, learning experience, and all of this are shaped by your skills, interests, values, and opportunities you've been exposed to. And of course, the key elements of career, right, are your work roles, right? The kind of jobs you've done, the kind of professions that you've been opportune to, be in, the kind of positions you've held, even in organizations where you've worked. Of course, your learning, what kind of learning have you been exposed to? Is it formal or informal education? And of course, even the progressions that you have had to be a part of the organization, right? Your growth, your transitions, your milestones, right? Your purpose as a person, right? Aligning your values and your goals. So all of these things together help to shape, right, the kind of career that you eventually settle for. So it is not accidental at all, right? So let's keep going. So now, of course, career development, that's just like in another compound word, bringing career and development together. This is just like, the continuous lifelong process of managing your learning, your work, your growth to achieve personal and professional goals, right? At the end of the day, the whole key thing is you want to be fulfilled, right, by where you get to at the end of the day, right? So career development, it's practically a process of developing, your work, everything you've done across, all your roles, everything you've done across learning, everything you've done. And at the end of the day, what you're really trying to achieve is your personal goals for yourself, your professional goals for yourself, and all of that is embedded in being fulfilled at the end of the day. And even in career developing a career, right? The two key areas where this also anchors, which is the key dimensions I put here, is self-discovery. Self-discovery. Hello, please, can you mute? Thank you so much. All right. So key dimension, self-discovery, which covers your values, your strengths, and your interests. Then, of course, skill building, right? The ability to upskill and reskill, right? All of this together helps to determine what level you are or how far you're going to go in developing a career, right? Remember, we've already established a career is a journey, and in that journey is shaped by everything you've done up until now and everything you still intend to do from today till tomorrow, right? So, and all of that is embedded in how you've discovered yourself. Have you been able to anchor your values? Do you know your strength? Do you know what you're interested in, right? And of course, do you build skill? Are you learning? Are you unlearning, right? And we're even here today because we're here to learn, right? So all of this is still the whole journey of our career. Then another important part to also note to in career development is opportunity navigation. Remember I said in the whole career, journey of your work, right? It's also greatly shaped by the opportunities that are within your reach. Also greatly shaped. So of course, opportunity navigations, your networks, your mentors, your experiences, right? This also helps to shape the whole process of developing a career from the scratch or from wherever that you're in. And then there's the research data I threw in as well. I love research a lot. So you'll be hearing a lot of research data on this course. So, please just bear with me. I just really love to come with facts. So it's not as if you're talking from the air, right? So according to a research that was done by LinkedIn in 2024, of course, because of, everything LinkedIn is privy to see across, our profiles and what we update daily, the research confirmed that the average professional changes career at least 5 to 7 times in a lifetime, right? So I'm even sure on this call, anyway, there's an icebreaker we'll do much later. I'll be able to determine, some part of this whole research data. So the average professional changes careers at least up to 5 to 7 times in a lifetime, right? So let's keep going. What that just means is as you continue to accumulate your learning, as you continue to discover yourself, right, you would find other areas where you naturally exert strength and you want to dig deeper, right? But let's keep going. So now, why does strategic career development matter? So now we have career development as a process, but now why does it have to be strategic, right? Strategic would mean you're planning, you're planning, you're putting things together, you're projecting, you're not in the present, you're trying to plan really for the future, right? That's really the other part of this topic, frameworks for the future, not even for now, right? To ensure that you stay relevant, even beyond time, right? So now, why do you have to be strategic like right now? Why does it matter so much? Because of rapid COVID hit, everybody on this call, he's like the whole world just took a different turn. There are a lot of things that have come to play. There are a lot of things that have, been part of organizations that were not there before. All these, remote work there before, right? But these things are becoming more part of work, right? All the onsets of new technologies, AI, industry shifts, and things that everybody had to go through, right? Because there's rapid shifts, and because you don't even know what's coming tomorrow, is the more reason why you have to be strategic with your career. You cannot take it as something you just wake up to every morning. And of course, the World Economic Forum in 2023 predicts that 44% of the skills workers use today will be disrupted by 2027. The funny thing is, there's a part of this research that confirmed that by 2025, which is this year, right? I didn't add it to my slides. By 2025, this year, that the half shelf life of a skill is going to be less than 5 years, right? World Economic Forum also did that research as well, right? And LinkedIn also did theirs, and that was in 2024. But World Economic Forum confirmed that in 2025. And you will agree with me that right now, you cannot rely on what you know again for tomorrow. There's a constant need of you learning. And, that same thing that you know how to do, right? You have to be, open to learn more about it, right? And I know that a lot of us, probably most of us on this call are HR professionals. So you will agree with me that even maybe in the last 6 months to 1 year, you've had to, upskill a bit in some area because new things are coming up, right? So what does that mean? It means that, you can no longer manage your career like, something that you just wake up to, however you feel like it today, whatever you think it is today. No, right? You have to not treat your career like, how you manage a business. I put it there, I said, careers must be managed like businesses, proactive, adaptable, and future ready. Just like how an actual business is expecting results, expecting everything to work out, that's how you now have to manage your career, right? Hence why you have to be strategic right now. And then as well, okay, so taking us to the next icebreaker for this session, right? And I put here, I said, take 30 seconds. You may even take shorter, right? If you need more, fine. As much as I can take in the comments, right? Take 30 seconds and think back. What was your very first job or hustle? I put hustle because, of course, I don't know, depending on where you started from, right? Not everybody started from the normal linear, finish school, then you got the blue-collar job and continued like that. So depending, right? What was the very first job or hustle? Then think about what you're doing now. Are you still in the same career path that you imagined back then, right? You can even think back to, if you want to take it back to maybe even where, our parents used to tell us what we want to become, right? They will start calling you doctor from when you were born, or start calling you barrister, right? So you can, piece it together. Just think of where you started from and where you are now. Are you still in the exact same career path that you imagined back then, right? Or where are you right now? So if you care to share, you can. Oh, I even got a contribution in the comments. I saw that Rotimi added to stay in trend. Thank you so much, Rotimi. That's actually a very great contribution for why career development have to be strategic, right? So you can share in the comments or you can use the raise your hand feature, right? If you want to share verbally. So I want to know, right? What was the very first job? And is that where you are right now? So you can type your very first job and say, yes, that's where I am, or no, that's not where I am. Or maybe you can tell me the number of times you changed careers so far. So anybody want to share with us? Let me go into the comments again. Okay, so while I wait, for response, right? Probably maybe share my own experience. I think my very first job. Okay, let me allow the comments to drop so that there will be more to read. But I'm already saying some comments already. So for me, my own first job was teaching. I was a school teacher. That was my first job, and I can confirm that I've changed careers at least twice. Teaching, then I was in marketing before human resources. So that's my own journey, right? So obviously I'm not still in the same career path. There was the time I carried marketing on my head, like, that I wanted to recruit everybody and get all the targets, but oh boy, thankful for what we had today. Okay, so let me check the chat, right? Okay, so James said not applicable. So James, do you mind expanding on your answer? Right, you said not applicable. It means emphasis, meaning have you changed more than once? Have you changed twice? Right? Then I have Christina said first job, customer service, somewhat in that line because HR is a level of customer service too. Customers are internal customers, but Christiana, your child changed. All right, thank you for sharing. Okay. Hey, I don't want to pronounce this name wrong. I'll just say, hey, I don't want to pronounce this name wrong. I'll probably just say Awinosa. I'm so sorry, that's not how it's pronounced. But he commented, he said that I was a teacher. Oh, teachers here. Then let me see. Okay, Rotimi started as a customer service, then changed to HR in the same company before leaving to join another company. So it is my second job in a new company. Okay, I'm trying to understand that. Okay. Okay, so I think I understand. You started in customer service, then in that same company, you're able to move into HR, and now you're in HR, right? But in another company. Okay, great. So that's two. Uchenna, first job safety officer. Thank you for sharing. For Larry, after secondary school, worked in a factory as an unskilled worker, went to the university, got an admin assist, got admin assistant, okay, then to facility, then HR now, and HR and admin now. Okay, that's a very extensive explanation. Thank you so much, Larry. Okay, so from everything I've been reading so far, right, you will all agree with me that the research data that I've been quoting, about how many times that people likely change their careers is true, right? It's true. Even on the call, you can already identify people that have done like 4. They've moved like 4 already. They've moved 5, and some people will still move, right? And some people will still move. That's the thing, right? And then there's Sylvia, sorry, worked in a bakery as sales and admin, did everything between buying materials from Ipodo Ikeja, then carried the bread around to shops at Ikeja, especially inside Kokuta village. Oh my God, that's a lot. Sylvia, you didn't finish your, I don't know where you are right now, but that's where you started from. Okay, I would love to know if you can still, complete it. I would love to know where you currently are right now in your career. Okay, so Amos started as an advertising sales rep and then started HR internship in the same company before moving. Oh, amazing. Okay, so Amos, it means you're in HR now, right? Okay, great. Oh, there's even more responses coming. I may not be able to take all of them, but I think I'll take like 2 more. So Messi said, worked as a sales rep in a bookstore after secondary school, now a lawyer. Woo! And okay, Kayode says started as HR, moved to business development, moved to customer service, moved to asset, now operations. Okay. Kayode, that's such a rigorous move. Thank you for sharing. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, you see? Okay. So Sylvia, thank you, Sylvia. You finished your story. So Sylvia said, I'm now a senior HR in a global business. Hey, let's celebrate Sylvia. Thank you. You see that everything paid off, right? Okay. Started as an electrical technician, moved to HR before moving on to another organization to continue as HR. Wow. Thank you so much, Noah. Thank you everyone for, sharing and making this session, as interactive as possible, right? If there's one thing we can identify from all these experiences that have been shared so far, one thing is confirmed that, there is no accidental move to career, right? It is okay that it moves. It is okay that it changes, right? As long as you're discovering yourself and you're aligning that with your goals, your values, right? So you can see, a lot of people started from, some of the moves here, they're not even lateral. Like some of them, I don't even know if I should say horizontal. Some are not even horizontal. Some are like just, maybe we can even just say they just teleported, right? Because if you look at, I think this particular one that, if you look at Sylvia's story, right? Started as a baker, right? And it was sales, but now she's in HR. If you also look at the one Noah dropped, electrical technician, and then moved to HR, like, it's not so, if it's okay, customer service to HR, transferable skills, right? But from that to that, that's to say that, career right now, right, is no longer like, a literal journey. You can literally move from here to there, right, as you continue to discover yourself. And it also confirms our research, right, that the average professional changes career at least 5 to 7 times in their lifetime. So you never know. Something else may come calling as well, right? And you will need to change again. But let's continue. That's how we have this session, right? So for my next slide, okay, I think I've gone too far. Okay, great. So for my next slide, let's talk about the 4C framework. So now for any career journey that you are trying to make, any career that you're trying to consider, right? Maybe you're somewhere right now, you're trying to move, or you've already moved, right? And you're trying to maybe tap roots, right? This 4C framework, it's most common. We've been using it like in the last 1 year plus. It's been even more present in most recent conversations around career. And that is really, clarity, competence, connections, and contribution to get the most out of any career that you're going to be building, right? Clarity, you have to define your values, your strengths, and your purpose. Remember when we did the concept, when we defined the concept of career development from the very beginning, right? We highlighted that, self-discovery, right? So you must be able to define your values, your strengths, your purpose. If you cannot identify this, it will be a struggle, right? Building anything. You will just keep moving. At the end of the day, you realize that you're stuck, right? And of course, competence is not just enough to say you want to move somewhere. You must be ready to upskill. And it's not just learning one and moving on, right? Continuously upskill and even reskill if possible. If where you're going, you realize that you do not have that capacity, if you do not have that knowledge, if you do not have that, you have to be ready to learn, right? I'm very sure for everybody on this call, that, gave their responses of their career journey, where they started, where they are right now. I am sure if it was a session that we allow everybody to take the mic and tell us your experience, I am sure everybody would definitely say, I had to do trainings, I had to do this, I had to do that, right? And you will see that it's very, very important. You need competence, right, in your career journey. And of course, connections. You need networks, you need mentors, you need sponsors. I remember, right, I said careers are, also shaped by the opportunities that are available to you, or the ones that you even make yourself available for, right? Well, we've gone past the era of, oh, I can do it all by myself. I know how to do this. I'm self-sufficient. We've gone past all of that, right? We're in the era of collaboration, right? And for connection, you need the networks, you need communities, right? That's why we have HR mentorship, an amazing platform, right? Where you will meet professionals that have gone through different career levels, right? Mentors, ask questions from people that have gone ahead of you. And of course, sponsors as well, because even career development would need finance, right? There's some kind of, what's it called? Someone trying to transition from, let's say, customer service to HR right now, right? Of course, the basic certification you should be chasing is CIPA, right? You need money. So connections, right, ties that together. Then, of course, contribution. right, for career development, you need to be able to position your career in such a way that you're aligning it with impact. What are you doing? What are you adding to the bigger picture? Right? Remember that career is a journey. It's not something that you can just, maybe you just come down, say, okay, this is my, yeah, let me come down, this is my bus stop. Remember, if you look at everybody sharing their experience, you will see that, somebody is here and then they moved here, they moved here, they moved here, right? Even the fact that they are currently where they are right now doesn't mean that that's where they're going to be, right? You will still need to constantly, desire more, and what's it called? Desire more, upskill, and of course, be able to find fulfillment in where you currently are right now, right? So align work with impact. That's the 4C framework. And now taking us to the key levels of careers, right? For the future that we are heading into, you have to be very, very prepared, right? Lifelong learning, that's the first one. And at least you will agree with me, everybody on this call will agree with me that we're not having a shift from degrees to micro-credentials. Right now, I don't even think it's a matter of when you need to have BSc in a particular area to work in a particular area anymore, right? Now, it is more like, oh, what does this person know? Where have they worked? What's their experience? What certifications do they have, right? So we have moved from degrees to micro-credentials. So if you're still focusing on degrees only, your career may not do so much good for you. Yes, degrees are excellent, but as much as you're getting degrees, ensure that you're also learning in other areas, right? Adaptability, the ability to thrive in ambiguity. The truth is, because of all the trends that are coming up, all the shifts that are happening, digital worlds, this whole AI, automations, I think I think in the last, was it last year, that whole comment was coming that, oh, AI is coming to replace people's jobs, AI will take away people's, oh my God, there has been too many of things, right, coming up, in this present time. And it's just giving us a glimpse of how the future of work is going to be. It just means that you have to be ready. The truth is, AI or whatever it is cannot replace you, right? At the end of the day, these things even work because a human being put it together. So why would that not come and replace a human being? If you allow it to replace you, your career, you've done, disservice to your career. So which is why you need to be adaptable. What skills do you need right now to move faster, right? I think there was a post I put out sometime last month about, using AI in your work, right? Integrating AI with your work. I think what I said was I rephrased that and I said, you don't need to be afraid of AI taking your job, right? You need to be afraid of the professional who knows how to use AI. That is your threat, not the AI, right? So you need to be adaptable. If you need to learn. And the next one, digital fluency, right? If you need to learn AI, if you need to learn data, if you need to learn automation literacy, whatever it is that is in trend right now and is in line with the journey and where you're headed, please learn it, right? And of course, global mindset. In building a career that is strategic, right? You want to think beyond the horizon of Africa and Nigeria. You need to position yourself for global opportunities. You need to put yourself out there, which takes me to, the last level, which is personal brand. You need to be visible. If you are doing great work, who else knows you're doing great work? Not just your line manager, right? Not just your performance review. That's when you say, this person is excellent. Who else knows your expertise, right? So you can do this through visibility and thought leadership. And I think the most easiest and cost-effective way to be visible right now is through LinkedIn. I want to believe that everybody on this call has a LinkedIn profile that is well optimized, not the ones that have pictures that are leaning, or even the ones without picture, or even the one without, some people just open LinkedIn because they want to look for jobs. But, as a professional and you're strategic about your career, you need to begin to use LinkedIn as a tool to project what you can do, right? Because remember, this is strategy. You're positioning yourself not for now. It's almost like, you're planning for your future. So you need to be where people can see you and recognize the good work you're doing for where you currently are right now in your career, right? And now, I also wanted to add this part, right? Because of course, I know that we have HR professionals on the call, and it would be great that you also put career strategy in your talent strategy, because that's really the best talent strategies. for your employees in your organizations, right? And I put some, bullet points. I'm never going to take too much time because I know that we already have an idea what this is, right? So of course, the role of organizations in career strategy, right? What you want to be able to do in the organizations to make it different for your employees, right? Because remember that, the whole career, everything is aggregation of, everything you've done, your work roles, what you've done at your job, what you've learned, everything, right? So in your organizations, ensure that there are transparent career pathways, where somebody can move. I think I there are about 3 comments I saw on when I asked about that icebreaker, the 30 seconds in reflect, where I think about 3 persons spoke about how they were able to move within the same company from one place to another. That's really fantastic, right? I know of organizations that, they'll keep telling you no space, no space, no space. Anyways, we're not really bashing anybody right now, but, it should be something you should encourage people to discover themselves, right? I feel like HRO has moved beyond just, business success, this one. But remember, business success is driven by people. So it should be people and business flourishing together, right? Together. So there should be transparent career pathways. There should be easy way to say, I'm saying that I have a passion for this, that, tap into the employee and find a way to help their light shine, right? I think I've seen like 3 people, I think, I'm trying to remember the name, but someone had commented saying that, they were in a particular department and they were able to move to HR, all right? And that is, how they were able to be in the career path they are in today. Like, that's a good story. Right now, of course, there should be coaching and mentoring structures in organizations for people discover themselves, right? For some people, it's not just easy for them to wake up and know exactly what they want to do with their life, right? Some people have to get counsel. Some people have to speak to somebody. So we should have these things, these systems in place in our organizations. And when you're designing your employee packages, your EVP, why you should work here, all those attractive initiatives, please, these things should be inside and actually working, right? And of course, learning ecosystems, not just one-off trainings, right? It should be continuous so that people can really know and learn. Sometimes when you even learn a new thing, if you have a flair for it, right? So it should be possible in organizations. And of course, career mobility should be encouraged. It should be encouraged, right? Because right now, as you can see from this call, there's no longer lateral move. I put it there, I say lateral, cross-functional, right? International, like careers right now, they are moving, even diagonal, career is moving everywhere, right? Because you are a person, and depending on the seasons of life that you're in, you will be discovering yourself, right? You continue to discover yourself. I don't know if you've ever heard about, stories of people that get to 40, and that's when they want to get a law degree. They're not crazy, right? It is perfectly fine because that's the point where they got to, and they realized that for the next level of their life, this is what they want to be doing, right? So it should be great to be able to encourage people to really find themselves however they can, right? And now, practical steps for career growth. I'm just going to run through this one, right? And that is audit your skills annually. I feel like annually is even too long. Audit your skills in every quarter. What do you know, right? As you're planning, I know we always do new year, new me, new life. It's not old me gone, new me, As you're planning all of that, please audit your skills alongside. Check what you know how to do, right? And what you don't know how to do. Research about your current job role, right? And what's the next level you're supposed to get to, right? And what kind of competence is required for that level, and start to upskill. It's not until maybe your manager got you angry in your current role, you'll not be like, I'm gonna dust my CV, right? It's not at that point. Every day you're showing up, in your career, you're showing up in your work role. It's the time for you to be auditing. Where you are right now, you should already map out, okay, in the next 1 year, what kind of role should I be eyeing for? Okay, you've done HR assistant, you've done HR officer, where should you be going to next, right? You check, You check, you know, the hierarchy, you check the progression, where are you supposed to be heading to, and look for the competency of that. You know, that's for someone being a career in HR. Of course, you know, check the competency of the next stage. I believe the next stage for you is like, you know, HR manager heading a department, right? Check the competency and start to prepare yourself for leadership, even from where you are, right? Start to take responsibility for things and start to learn. Don't wait. Your career is not waiting, right? It's not something you leave to chance. And of course, with that, you know, set your 3-year career strategy plan. At least three years, 3 years, 3 years, 3 years. Where do you want to be? Set it. What do you need? Put it down. Do you need to take more courses? Do you need a certification? Do you need maybe international certification? Whatever you need, right? Find the requirement for where you want to be next and start to chase them. If you need to start saving, please save. If you need to start, you know, whatever it is you need to do, right? Because all of that as well, leading to the next one, which is building a learning portfolio, right? I think I already spoke about that. You need to learn and you have to continue to learn, right? Find 2 mentors. You can have plenty, but find 2 mentors, at least one inside your industry and one outside your industry. That's an eye outside and an eye inside, right? You can't do it alone. At least somebody that you can talk to, ask questions, ask them about their experiences. Ah, sir, how did you get here? You know, this, you know, please, right? And then track achievements like a business track KPIs. I feel like this is one part in a lot of us professionals are guilty of, right? And Harvard Business Review, right, did a research in 2023, and they confirmed that only about 29 professionals out of 100, 29 actively track their achievements. Yet, those who do are 4 times more likely to get promotions. And this is even just within, right? The research that was done within organizations. So this tracking of achievement is one part where we professionals, you know, career professionals, we miss out a lot, right? A lot of time you try to remember in your head that I contributed to, I did this, you know, you'll be thinking, it shouldn't be that. You should have your achievement track. If you want to get a hard copy book, title it My Career Achievement So Far. Number 1, in 2000 and this, I did this. In this, I was awarded this. I was made the best this of my department. Write everything down. Anything that you did that made change in your department, in your unit, and across your career. You spoke somewhere, put it there. Even the speaking engagements, and I'm going to add it to my, what's it called? My achievement tracker, right? So there's nothing that is too small. Remember that it is a collection of your entire journey. It is not one day. It is everything you've done leading up until where you are right now. So you should be able to, you know, track, right? Write it down. It even helps you when you're doing performance appraisals. You know, nobody's telling you to come. You already know exactly what you've done, right? It could even be an Excel sheet. However, you know, you're able to track and keep record of what you've achieved so far. Please, you know, put it down. Even doing this is going to give you, you know, some level of audacity to reach for the heights that you want to go, because you'll be able to see, you know, on paper that, oh boy, this is all what I have done, right? Even sometimes some persons will be updating their CVs. I don't know what to write because they've forgotten to actually put down the things they've done. So this thing is going to help, you know, all around, depending on, you know, what level you're going to. So please track your achievement. Don't leave it to chance. Whether you want to do hard copy, fine. If you want to do it on Microsoft Word, Excel, whichever format, or notes on your phone, please just ensure that every day that something exceptional happens on your career journey, you are writing it down. These are practical steps for your growth that will lead to greater opportunities that will open up for you, right? And now, the emerging career models of the future. Now, I put 4 here. There may be more, right? But I just put 4 because of what we currently have right now. So portfolio careers, it's a thing right now, right? Multiple income streams and projects. So the easiest way to explain this is, you know, having a career that you can build up that can give you money through different channels, right? So for example, which is the easiest one to use? Okay, I could just pick anyone, but I think I've been using HR too much. Let me use, okay, let's use marketing, for example, right? So for someone that is in marketing, right, that's like, you know, an example of a portfolio career. So you're a marketer, probably maybe you work with an organization, so that's your first stream of income, right? And then Depending on how you build your personal brand, you can be invited to speak at events and you can get paid for it. That's another income stream, right? And then depending on how well you also build your brand, you could also become, what's it called? You could also, depending on the level of of where you are as by experience, right, in your journey, you could also decide to mentor young ones, right? Mentor upcoming marketers. That's another stream of income. And then you could also decide to say, okay, depending on the terms of your, what's it called, employment, right? If you intended to do freelance or consult, that's another stream of income. So we're already, having the era of portfolio careers where people are doing multiple income streams and projects. Somebody can want to work on something and say, oh, I need a marketer for a month or something. And if it's within your jurisdiction, and as long as it does not affect your employment contract, that's another stream of income. So we're already having that, right? And of course, boundaryless careers, that's careers that don't really depend on what location you are, across industries, borders, and all of this stuff, right? I think the most easiest ones that you can mention in this area, you can use, the examples of tech, right? It can be anywhere, you're collaborating with, a team somewhere, collaborating with a team that's outside your country, right? To be across industries, you're building products across different industries. You can work with oil and gas. You can work with healthcare. Can work with insurance. Can work with any company, right? So across industries and borders. And of course, purpose-driven careers. That's another emerging career model that we currently have. You will see people that will be like, oh, this career is, I think, while Dr. Elaine was reading my profile, I heard something about SDG 4 and SDG 8. So that's an example of a career that's driven by purpose, right? Because I aligned my career journey to impact, right, and sustainability, which is, SDG 4 and specifically SDG 8. So you also see careers like that, right? You will see a career of someone that'll be like, oh, I'm dedicating my career. Which example would I use? Okay, let's say for someone that's trying to, I think the most easiest ones to use would be, all these career journeys that have come up around. Let's say, okay, somebody wants to do gender inclusion, and that's their goal, right? Purpose-driven careers, or demonstrating careers to say, oh, and they want to cater for moms at work. I'm sure you've seen an example of this type of careers, people that are frontlining things like this. And of course, AI partnered careers, that is humans and machine co-creating values, right? I feel like in the last 6 months, I have not rested on LinkedIn. I'm always getting DMs. Oh, I want to reduce your workflow. I'm an AI workflow architect. I will do this for you in 15 minutes. I'm sure, if you're on LinkedIn, you know what I'm talking about. So that is also a trend, right? So portfolio careers, boundaryless careers, purpose-driven careers, AI partner careers. So whichever, right, wherever your career falls right now, right, just be able to identify exactly what you need, right, in this, areas, right? If it is portfolios, you know that, how to build your offers and everything. Of course, if it's boundaryless, you know exactly the skills that you need. Purpose-driven careers, understand, exactly what you're trying to do, up any direction. And of course, if it's AI partnered, you also find out you need your resources to keep moving, right? So it's good to identify what model that you're currently on right now. And also, even McKinsey, right, 2024 says by 2030 that nearly 50% of workers may operate in non-traditional career models, right? So even things are still going to change, which is more reason why you should be ready today, right? There's no room to leave it to chance. And then now, I think I've put in one more. This is the last icebreaker. We're almost done, right, for today. I think I've been talking since, so now let me hear from you as well. So in one word, describe what you want your career to look like in 5 years from now. In one word. That's 5 years from today, just picture it, or 5 years from 2025, right? That would be 2030 actually. In one word, tell me what you want your career to look like. And when we started, I said, oh, emojis, right? Let me check the chat. Okay, Sylvia said founder. I love it. Tolua Lope said impactful. Please, I'm sorry if I pronounce your name. Maybe I'll just be using the first name. Okay, Ade, I can pronounce Ade. Ade says pace setter. Amazing. Taiwo said fulfilled. Fulfilled. Great. Who else want to share with us? In 5 years, right? What do you want your career to look like in 5 years? That's by 2030. Rotimi said gratified. Amazing. Okay. Any other person care to share? In 5 years from today, in 5 years, oh, Noah said strategist. And Noah said strategist, Uju said impactful. Faraday said global leader. I love that, put that global in front. You could have just put leader, but I believe you already have where you want to go. So Iwanose said reverting. Okay, Amos Precious said impactful global HR professional. Like people that used to, these people used to collect extra sheets. Amos, I'm sure you're among those that take extra sheets in the exam. Okay, Funke said consultant. Okay, Christina said proven. Okay, tested and trusted. I get that vibe. Thank you, everyone, right? So really, I want you to hold that thought, right? The word that you have shared today, just hold on to it, right? Uchenna said pace setter. I love that. That's, a great place, right? So the word that you shared today in this comment, if you need to write it down somewhere, if you need to, keep it so that you do not forget, Remember you said, everybody that said global, right? In 5 years, maybe I should take down your names. I want to be checking where your journey is going to, right? Amen said thriving. Thank you, amen, for sharing, right? So like I said, hold on to your word. I know why I said so. That's taking me to the next assessment I'm going to give to you today. So now, right, in holding on to the word that you have shared, and even if you've not shared, I'm sure you have, your vision, for yourself in the next 5 years with you, right? And I want to ask you this question. I said, the question says, what does career success mean to you in 50 words? Not more than, right? Don't take extra sheet for this because it has to be clear, it has to be crisp, it has to be straight to the point. What does career success mean to you in 50 words? So this is not what you're going to, of course, I don't expect you to type 50 words right now, right? But it's something I want you to take away from this session, right? If you need to, I don't know what you currently do, how you currently track or keep track of yourself. Then I'm still seeing some comments. Lovett said business realist, that's amazing. Kayode said project and training consultant. As you've desired it, everyone on this call, so it will be, right? Now, so take your time, right? It's always great to write this thing down. So you want to open a journal and call it your career journal, right? And on the first page, I need you to answer this question. If you're not really, not everybody really likes to, write down. If you want to do it virtually, what's it called? Online, our AI people, however, right? So it's whatever medium you want to use that you're most comfortable with, please go ahead, right? But I need you to really sit down with yourself in your quiet time, when you're in your core, when you're in your best self, I need you to reflect around your journey from where you started from to where you are right now. And I want you to define what career success means to you. And when you have put that down on paper, look at it and ascertain what you need to do next, right? And move from there. And I promise you, right, that as long as you do the reflection correctly and you put it down to paper and you work towards it, everything you put out here that you want to be in 5 years and even beyond, right, is going to come together. So please don't forget, do this assessment. It's very, very important. Okay, so I'll go to the next slide. So let me just repeat the question again one more time in case you've not gotten it. You can screenshot it, right? What does career success mean to you in 50 words? So now, bringing us to the end, right, of the entire session today, it's been really amazing, right? And I love the interactions. Thank you so much. So I put it, I said, your career, right, is not just a job. It's a journey. Your career is not just a job, it's a journey. Don't forget. If you forget everything I've said on this call, please don't forget. Your career is beyond where you currently work. Where you currently work is just a channel. It's just a, how do I call it now? Probably just a catalyst, right? The whole journey is ahead of you. And the most successful journeys are not left to chance, they are designed, right? Which is the whole essence of everything I've been pushing on this call. And of course, a great career fits the mind, the soul, and the future. One of the easiest ways to check if you're in a career that is worthwhile is these things I'm about to mention. Learning, right? A great career must give you an avenue to, growth is found in a great career. Growth is found in a great career. You will be seeing, trajectory. You're moving forward, right? You're learning and moving forward. And of course, there is meaning. You find meaning. You feel, you're able to attach it and say, okay, you wake up every morning and your heart is gladdened, right? And of course, aiming. Aiming is a sweet spot of all your passion, your skill, all your dream and aspiration. So a great career must earn you money, right? So if you're in a career that you're not earning, you're only suffering, please think, check inside again and find your true passion. A great career feeds you, right? And also feeds you in terms of your income, right? And of course, legacy. A great career leaves, it leaves impact. It leaves successful trails for others to follow, right? And of course, the final one is fulfillment. You'll be fulfilled. You'll be fulfilled, you'll be complete, you'll be whole. No other person will be able to understand why you chose this path, but you get it because you chose it and you went with it, right? And of course, what strategic step will you take in the next 90 days to build the future that you want? I will leave you with that question. You don't have to answer me right now, right? So remember, you must have already done what does success mean to you in 50 words. Remember, 50 words, it should not be more than 50 words, right? And of course, from what you have written down, what can you do for the next 90 days? That's in the next 3 months. That's almost like before the year ends, right? To get yourself in motion for what career success means to you. And then the future of work, right? We reward those who choose growth over comfort, clarity over confusion, and strategy over chance. And the truth is, in all of everything that I've saying here, right, please do not forget, right, that your career is not a job. I have a reason why I keep repeating this particular point, right? Do not forget that your career is not just a job. It is a journey. And again, the future of work will reward those who choose growth over comfort, clarity over confusion, and strategy over chance. Thank you so much. So I will take questions now if there are any questions or any contributions. Thank you so much. Okay, let me reach for the chat. Okay, let's check the chat out. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can type it in the chat or you can use the raise your hand feature and you can just unmute and ask your questions. Thank you so much. Any questions? Okay, let me. Oh, okay. All right. So do we have, okay, I think I have 2 comments in the chat. Let's see. Okay. All right. Oh, comment from Ade. Oh, thank you so much, Ade. I'm glad you found this session amazing. Let's go. Okay. All right. I have a question from Coyote. So Coyote, you're asking, why is it that most organizations don't have succession planning? That's a very interesting question. The truth is, I don't know if I can speak for most organizations, right? Maybe I'll just talk around succession planning, right? Because of course, I'm not inside their systems to know why they don't have it. If you remember the part of the slide where I was talking about the role of impact, right? The role of organizations in career strategy. right? One thing that I emphasize is the fact that this should be part of, talent strategy. Career strategy should be part of, talent strategy, right? So succession planning is one of the most brilliant ways to help people even grow their careers, right? So I won't be able to answer why they don't have, right? Probably they don't have the structure or maybe structural strategy they don't have a strategy around that, right? But, which is why, we're even here in the first place, right? So it can be a call to action to anybody that's on the call, right? Having listened to why career strategy should be part of talent strategy, please, right? Where you work, right? It doesn't have to be, this is how we've done it here, right? You can push for this initiative. So succession planning is amazing. It's beautiful, right? Because you see the impact on the spot. You see the impact on the spot. Somebody joins your company and, they move in such a way that, beautifies their life. I think that's the word that keeps coming to my mouth, right? So, Kayode, I hope I've been able to, clarify that, because I won't be able to give you why, because I'm not in those organizations. But social planning is something that we should, neglect as HR professionals. We should pull this initiative and ensure that it's taking place, right? It even helps your talent pipeline, right, in the long run. So please. All right, thank you. Then, okay, Dr. Oleyemi is asking, how do you help your employees manage their career as HR? Interesting. The truth is, in helping your employees manage their career as HR is where you as HR, you really have to be involved, right, in their career journey, right? It's not just, the whole recruitment process. You bring them in, you've done onboarding, orientation, then you just hand them to their line manager and then you walk away. No, HRO has to be involved, right, in every single employee. You have to make their career journey your business, right? So the thing is, what you can always do, right, as an HRO to help manage your employees' careers, right? I want to believe that, because that's an initiative that I have, right? I want to believe that when you're doing your regular evaluations, whether performance reviews or one-on-one sessions, what you have in place, right? There is an avenue for them to actually tell you about how they feel about where they currently are and if they have any interest on where else they want to go to, right? So those are really ways for you to help manage their career, right? And, you can also watch out for where their strength is. The truth is, we have strengths and we have areas of improvement, right? So where their strength is, does it look like, it's too much for where they currently are, right? So if you're able to identify these things, you're able to, which is why it's great, to have those career pathways that I've recommended before, right at the beginning. Have that career pathway, have, things and initiatives and strategy in place for talents to actually move across the organization. If you see someone that is excellent at, I think I've seen it in some industries, right? I know that banking does that a lot. If they see that, oh, you have the flair for, you have what it is to be, to function in a particular role, they would give you that opportunity, right? They will move you across and, get you to actually try your hand in that role, right? So those are ways that HR can actually help employees manage their career. So create room, right? Follow up, manage them. Don't just, after onboarding and everything, don't just hand them over. Manage them, right? To know where they are going, where they are entering, if their interests have even changed, right? To know where their light is. So thank you. I hope I was able to get to do justice to that. Oh, thank you, Awenosa. Thank you. Kayode is asking, why are the legal practitioners getting the HR top role instead of the HR professionals? I feel like the questions you guys are asking me tonight. Okay, Kayode, the truth is, I think I've gotten a similar question like this in the session I led before, and it was also about career, right? I don't really understand this beef around legal practitioners and HR, and your question is saying, why are they getting the HR top role instead of the HR professional, right? The truth is, I feel like if you've seen something like this happen, right, it should be a wake-up call. I will regard something like that as a wake-up call. If somebody is transitioning from legal and coming to HR, then they're not getting a top role, it means, it is time for you to do an audit, right? It is time for you to do an audit and know why that person is getting that top role, right? I think the only leverage, or maybe the only advantage that I can immediately identify about legal practitioners is that, they know the law, right? So probably the preference of legal practitioner is that, they know the law, right? They understand the law, and what's it called? Companies would choose them because they are able to back up in both areas, both ways. I don't know if you understand. So they're taking people that are taking compliance. So if a legal practitioner is coming into HR and they're getting top rules than you that is in HR, it's a time for you to start to read the law now. Carry that labor law and through it, right? I feel like it's a wake-up call. It's not really a time to, start to like ask questions or, like, oh, why this, why that. It just means that we need to wake up, right, and learn the law, and so that we can understand it and be able to apply it to help business, right? Because the truth is, HRO has moved more than employee engagement, TGIF, please. HRO has moved more than all of that. Right now, is HRO contributing to business value, right? So it's a wake-up call for all of us HR professionals to go and understand the law that is giving them advantage, because that is really what it is, right? Understand the law that is giving them advantage. And of course, even the part of HRO that you know how to do, ensure that you know how to do it very well as well, right? I feel like if you are, if you're covered and grounded in all areas, right? I don't see any reason why they'll be picked over you, right? So, that's really just my response to that question. So let's all of us go back. Let's go and, the advantage you have over, which is understanding the law and how it applies to business, Abi. Let's go back and go and read the law again, right? Okay. So Kayode is asking, what's the difference between Chartered Institute of Personnel Management or Chartered Institute of Human Resources Management? Okay, okay. Oh, okay, I think I understand what you're asking. Okay, I think on this particular topic, right, my answer will probably be, I'm not going to probably give you any difference, but I'll probably just state what we have in our HR industry, right? And that is the recognized body for certifying HR professionals in Nigeria is CIPM, right? Which is the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria. I can't tell any difference between that and Chartered Institute of Human Resources Management. I think that's the question, right? But the certified
Hello, ma.
body. Yes, sir.
Hello, Juliet.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I think that question is not
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes, it's not for this class.
So I'm a member of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria. Check the top 30 HR professionals in Nigeria. They're in Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria. All right. So any other questions, generally?
Okay, let me. Okay, yeah, I have some other questions. So for Lovett is saying, please, what steps can I take to start a career in office management? So if you're starting a career in office management, I think the very first thing that you need to do is you need to do a skill audit. That's the very first thing. I already shared it in previous slides. You need to do a skill audit, right? And you need to understand, you need to know exactly what you need, first of all, right? And when you've identified the skills that you need, are they skills that you already know how to do, right? If not, you need to learn, right? And then you learn, and then accompanying with your learning, you of course prepare yourself for the job market, where prepare your CV, your application materials, and you start to look for entry-level roles, right? Where you can gain experience and continue to move, right? That's really it. So if you want to go into office management, please do a research, audit your skills, and know exactly what you need, right? And if you need to start learning, please start learning, build your learning portfolio and start to learn, of course, then start to look for entry roles where you can get, opportunities to actually learn in this job. Even if it means volunteering as well, that's also a good way to also learn, right, while you're trying to master your skills. So that's also a good place to start. I love it. I hope I've been able to answer that question. And then let's keep going. Kayode, another question from you. Okay. Why is it that most organizations are not promoting stay interval and exit interview? Because I don't also think this question is for this class, because we're talking about career, right? So, and the question is quite generalized because you said most organizations, and you really have to be inside organizations to understand, except you have research data to back it up, that they're not promoting stay interviews. So that's quite sketchy. Then let's see. Okay, Dr. Olegemi has even helped you, Kayode, there's what's it called? All the information is in around CIPM is in the chat. So that should answer the previous question. And I think that is all that I have. So in absence of, let's see, I think I got one more comment. Okay, all right. So that's all the questions for this evening. So everybody that asked a question, I hope I've been able to do justice to your questions. And I wish you all the best as you continue to grow fulfilling careers. Thank you so much, sir, for having me.
Thank you so much, Juliet. That was excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's unmute and let's appreciate Juliet.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Juliet.
Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Juliet.
Thank you.
Enjoy the section. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.